Good morning, students. Welcome to Career Exploration. Today we're going to explore the career of journalist. We're going to look at what this career is, why it could be meant for you, its working conditions, the education needed to get it, the salary, and I have a video example of what journalists do for you to get a good understanding of this career. So up on the board you can see all the things that come with being a journalist, and if you identify to any of those, then you should consider this career. But if you like writing, you wish to travel locally or internationally, you want a job that includes no physical challenges, and you like working, meeting and talking with new and different people, then you should consider becoming a journalist. And also keep in mind that ultimately what journalists do is give the public access to information, so this career could be very gratifying. Basically, what journalists do is gather information on everything from worldwide events to stories in their local communities. They gather this information, they write articles about it, which they then pass on to the public through the paper or the internet. So if you are considering becoming a journalist, then get ready to do a lot of digging to get the facts and the opinions that you need to write your articles. For some of your tasks will be to arrange interviews with witnesses and people involved in their stories. And by the way, if you want to be a journalist, you have to feel comfortable with working with many different people and visiting many different places, because you never know from where or from who you might need to get your information. There are two types of journalism. There is the news journalist who works under daily deadlines and has to provide the most up-to-date stories. And there is the investigative journalist who writes more in-depth stories that require more research, but ultimately all journalists work under deadlines. So you have to be able to cope well with stress. On to the working conditions now. Journalists work from offices or from home, but that's only when they're writing, because when they're gathering information, they go wherever their stories take them. There are no physical challenges involved in being a journalist, but there are some mental challenges, because you have to be able to work well under pressure, and you have to be able to cope well with difficult situations, and when you are working in countries that are torn by war or natural disaster, you have to be able to keep your cool. For the amount of hours that journalists work, it varies a lot, because most journalists set their own schedules, but in general, journalists work 40 to 50 hours a week. For the salary, no one starts at the top, so when you are a beginner journalist, you may make $18,000 to $27,000 a year, and in general, journalists make $25,000 to $70,000 a year.
What is the yearly salary for Quebec?
In Quebec, the average is $57,000 per year.
What about in Canada?
In Canada, the average is $41,000 a year. Although a post-secondary diploma or degree is not essential in becoming a journalist, I strongly suggest that you get one, since you are unlikely to get a career without one. So I put on the board where I wrote a sample of a career path, so it really is an example. If you choose to go to, for example, Dawson College, in their Arts, Literature and Communication program, which requires a diploma of secondary studies, including Sec 5, Language of Instruction, Sec 5 Second Language, and Sec 4 Science. Well, then you can, if you choose to go to university and you go to Concordia, you can take their journalism program, which requires a minimum of 33 credits. Yes?
What are some examples of courses?
It's basically all courses that are linked to journalism. So you have Introduction to Doing Good Research, Introduction to Journalism, Critical Approach to Journalism, and many more. Now I'm going to show you an example of a journalist. Good evening, I'm Charliane Saint-Ange. I'm here to interview you for the Medical Discovery magazine. So, Anthony Saint-Ange, you work for a company that offers cutting-edge technology for cancer diagnostics. We have heard on the street that pathologists are saying that perhaps a miracle drug is now available for patients who have lung cancer. Please tell us more about it.
Absolutely. Yes, so there are multiple pharmaceutical companies that have come up with these very new drugs that essentially it triggers your own immune system to eat and melt away the cancer. And so it's new therapies that are available, and it's actually saving the lives of many people across the world. And so I would invite you to find out a lot more on this. I know today we're very short in time, but it's very promising, and so it's definitely worth investigating a little more. Thank you for asking.
Well, thank you for telling us more about it. This seems like a very interesting solution to many of the world's problems. So,
Thank you very much.
thank you for your
Ariana.
time.
Take care.
Journalists work from journalism, so you have introduction to research, introduction to journalism, introduction to comment c'est ça?
I got a question.
Ok, comment c'est ta question?
I got a question.
Go.
Good morning, students. Welcome to. Good morning, students. Welcome to. Okay. Good morning, students. Welcome to Career Exploration. Today we'll be exploring the career of journalism.